Hi, this is Alex Helmbrecht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State men's basketball coach Brent Bargen. The Eagles dropped two tough games at Colorado Mines and Colorado Christian last weekend in the Denver area, beginning with Friday's 72-67 setback to the Ore Diggers, and then that was followed by a 79-65 loss at Colorado Christian. The Eagles still have two games before the end of the 2012 season officially happens. They will play at Regis Saturday. That's a 7 p.m. tip, and then they will play at Metro State Sunday at 5 p.m. Both of those games got moved back a day because of graduation at those institutions. Coach, first of all, looking at Colorado Mines, I know it's a game that probably it sticks in with you a little bit just because you guys had a lead in that game, lost it midway through the second half. But really, to your team's credit, even after losing that lead, you still came back and had a chance to tie it there at the end.
Well, being that it's, again, an inexperienced group, and I get tired of talking about those things, but every game is a situation that we haven't been in yet. And due to a snafu, we were a bit late arriving to the arena, normally later than we normally would arrive. And our kids did an unbelievable job of handling it. Came out and played with some adrenaline, got ready quickly, did what we needed to do, and had a 16-point lead at halftime. Shot the ball really well. We were 9 of 14 from the three-point line in the first half. We got great looks at the basket, shared the ball well, took care of the ball. We had 4 turnovers in the first half, and 4 turnovers led to 9 of 14 shooting from the three and 46 points. And then in the second half, Mines came out, and we had an unfortunate couple of calls at the beginning. They came out and pressured us, and we had a young man who tried to clear some space. And anytime you raise an elbow above a shoulder, my elbow above your shoulders, it's an intentional foul, whether you hit him or not. And our young man swept the ball through, and he had a shorter player playing against him, and they called an above-the-shoulder swing of an elbow, and they got 2 free throws, and that's how we started the half. And we got kind of a slow start in the half, and you got to credit Mines for coming out and playing well. And we had 11 turnovers in the second half, and 11 turnovers in the second half gave us 21 points. So obviously we shoot the ball and take care of the ball, you score points, and when you don't take care of the basketball, that leads to easy baskets for the opponents, and it's tougher to guard, obviously, because usually they're breakout type situations, and we did not do a very good job of taking care of the ball, and really that was the difference in the game.
As you mentioned, the Eagles did shoot lights out in the first half, 9 of 14 from three-point range, 18 of 31 from the field. They actually finished 23 of 50 for 46% for the game, which is better than Mines. But Mines went to the free throw line 13 more times, made 17 of 27 compared to 10 of 14 for the Eagles. And that kind of was where the difference was made up. Zach Bargen led the Eagles with 19 points. David Downey had 11 all in the first half. He hit 3 of 4 from three-point land. And then Justin Anderson had a really nice game, 9 points, 7 rebounds, and then 4 assists. The Eagles actually finished with the season-high assists, finishing with 13 for the game. So I know that was something that you probably took out of that game, the better distribution of the ball.
Well, we had 13 assists on 23 baskets, and that's over half your baskets being assisted. And we shot 48% from the three-point line, even going 2 for 9 in the second half. And a lot of that had to be the credit to Mines defending us a little bit differently. I guess the biggest disappointment in that game, I guess, is the free throw differential. They shoot 27 free throws and we shoot 14, and we're a team that we think attacks and puts the ball on the floor and tries to get to the rim. And they played man the whole game, and it's definitely not an officiating issue as far as you could complain about that stuff all day, but it's more about us being aggressive and creating contact and turning the corner on guys, and then they do a good job of throwing the ball into and around the rim. They do a good job of getting the ball there. We get there differently, and we weren't able to get the call on our way to the rim, and they were getting calls at the rim. And I think we played well. We had an intentional foul with some miscommunication in the last play of the game and the very first play of the second half. That's 4 free throws that they make, and it's a 3-point differential. And if we have the opportunity to be able to, have better communication and not commit that foul, or at least in that manner, and we don't have a foul at the beginning, which was the right call, by the way. Anytime an elbow is raised, It wasn't intentional by any means, but those are 4 free throws. We had 3 looks at the basket. We were down 5 with about 40 seconds left. We miss a 3, get a rebound, get fouled. We get a steal. We go down and miss another 3. We get another steal and miss a 3. So we actually had 3 opportunities to hit threes to tie the game, and I was proud of the way the kids battled all the way to the end, and it was a pretty disappointing loss, to be honest with you.
And that was followed by a 79-65 setback at Colorado Christian the following night. The Cougars shot 45% from the field. The Eagles shot 38%. But really, Colorado Christian kind of just beat up Chadron State in the paint, outscoring them 40-26, and then also did a nice job getting out on fast breaks, scoring 10 points. But, Coach, probably a much closer game than the final score indicated.
We didn't play very well. Outside of the first 7 or 8 minutes, that we played pretty well, and at least offensively we played well. We had 18 turnovers, and you can't beat anybody turning the ball over that many times. And you got to credit, they were very physical, probably the most physical defenders that we've played to date. And we've played some pretty physical people, a lot of grabbing and holding, and we didn't handle that very well and turned the ball over, got out of sorts a little bit, took some quick shots, didn't shoot the ball very well. I think we had a bit of a hangover from the night before in the sense that I don't think we put the night before behind us well enough. We did at the beginning of the game, and as soon as we hit some adversity, they did a couple of things that we hadn't anticipated, which was shoot a ton of threes. They had not shot the three-point baskets very well, a touch over 30% on the year, and they went for 38%. So they shot the ball real well, and that was something that they have not been able to do. And they got out in transition, which is something that they hadn't been doing either. And they got a couple of easy baskets early. You talk about points in the paint. That was something that they got early. They'd kind of got them going, and then because of us packing the paint, they were able to get a couple of threes, and that's as good as I've seen Christian play. Not making any excuses. They played well, and they rose to the challenge. They had lost the night before and knew they needed to win at home to get a split, and we didn't match their intensity throughout a full 40 minutes, and I was a bit disappointed in that. But we're growing and getting better. I think a couple of guys had some pretty good games there. Guys did some nice things. We're starting to see better energy from a couple of people, and if we can continue to have that happen and guys continue to shoot the ball better, I think we got a chance to be a pretty good basketball team.
The Eagles put 3 in double figures, led by Zach Bargen's 23. He also had a team-high 6 boards. Grant Stone added 10 points and 6 rebounds, and then Kyle Vinich had 10 points and 4 rebounds, starting basically in the center position. Coach, was the Eagles finished with 3 assists against Colorado Christian? Was that more of a result of kind of the physical defense that Christian was playing, or did your offense just get out of sorts a night after having 13?
No, I don't think so. I think it was more of a physical play. I think, when you get pressure and people are grabbing and holding, your natural reaction is to put it on the floor. And then if you haven't created space, your natural reaction is to shoot it. And that's one of the things that we did, was we took some ill-advised shots. I don't think we shot 39% from the field and 33% from the 3 and 67% from the line. We went to the line 33 times against their 11 free throws. So we shot 22 more free throws, which meant, we were much more aggressive and they were fouling. That tells you a little bit about the foul count. They played at home and we're on the road and shot 33 free throws to their 11. It was just that they shot the ball extremely well against us, and for us, I just don't think we handled their pressure in the first half very well, of being able to take care of the basketball and get good shots, good looks at the basket.
Well, the Eagles are back on the road this weekend in the Denver area, beginning with Saturday night's game against Regis. That's a 7 p.m. tip. The Rangers are currently 2-4 on the season, 1-2 in the conference. They're 8th in the RMAC. And Coach, I know that you've kind of been really focusing on your team this week, but when you look at Regis's stats, it's kind of staggering. They've played 10 players. 8 of those 10 are averaging at least 7 points a game. Yeah,
they're all between about 7.5 and 8 points a game. 7.5 to 12, 7.5 to 11.5, and that's unheard of. You just don't have guys. That makes it a little difficult to prepare for. It means that you've got to be able to be that much more. Your depth of defenders has to be that much better. I think they kind of go with mismatches and hot hands, where we've seen a couple of games where one guy will go and have 15 or 20, and then the next night he might not score at all, and they may have somebody else. And I think that's more of trying to get to matchups where they think that they have a strength in a matchup. So we've got to be able to guard 1 through 5, and sometimes that's not always the case. If you've got a guy that you can guard a little better than another, or you have a better defender, you can match those kids up, and so we're going to have to be pretty good all around. They haven't shot the ball all that well, and they've been giving up some pretty good offensive numbers. I think they're shooting about 42%, giving up 50%. Their threes, they're shooting a lot of threes, and if we can, defend the 3-point line and take away the lane, any of the curl stuff that they do and any high-low stuff that they do, we will hopefully be in good shape.
Yeah, Regis, which won its first game against Johnson and Wales there in Denver, then went on to lose its next 4, and then followed with a 77-67 win at the University of Colorado Springs last Saturday. So they're coming off a big win for that program. As Coach mentioned, they do shoot a ton of threes. They're 44 for 132 this season. Their opponents have taken 52 less. Coach, that's followed by a game at Metro State, a rare afternoon tip in the RMAC on Sunday. That's going to be at 5 p.m. start. In Metro State is one of the good ones in the RMAC. They're one of 2 undefeated teams, and they've won all 3 of their conference games by at least 20 points, so it's going to be a tall task. However, the Eagles are returning to that gym after having won there last year.
Well, that we're a totally different team, and hopefully that can give us a little bit of confidence. But, as you can see, last year's successes at the end of the year have no bearing on what happens now. And you can continue to build, but the guys that were making the plays for us last year and the guys that we had as experienced players are not here anymore. They're graduated and have moved on or are currently injured. And so we have 7 guys back from last year's team, but those 7 guys aren't the guys that were key contributors to last year's team in the sense of large amounts of production. They were key contributors, just weren't asked to produce a lot. Metro is always good. They've got good facilities. They're fully funded. They're in Denver. They got a lot of resources. They take a lot of pride in that program. They don't have football or any other major sport to be able to take away any attention. So they are the football program of the university or the college, where most other places the football program is and should be, because it is a generating sport. Is the key piece, and I have no problem with that. It's just when you don't have 100 other guys and 100 other money for 100 people and all the resources that go to that, it's going to specifically go to men's basketball, and that's why they've been good. There's a lot of pride taken in there. They've had a lot of success. Coach Dunlap did a great job, and followed by Brennan and now DC, and it just kind of keeps going, and there's a lot of I don't know about pressure. I guess there is quite a bit of pressure, but there's a lot of resources dumped into the program, and they've been very good, and they've maximized their resources for sure.
The Roadrunners are currently 7-0 on the season, 3-0 in the conference. They're led by Jonathan Morse, who's averaging 15 points a game and just a shade over 9 boards. He's currently the RMAC Defensive Player of the Week. Coach, so these are the final 2 games of 2012. You come back after a couple-week break, a mandated 10-day dead period by the NCAA. What do you have planned for your guys once they get back, and then heading into that home weekend against Fort Lewis and Adams State on January 4th and January 5th?
Well, the guys will leave after the game on Sunday. We play at 5, 7. They can even get a flight out of Denver on Sunday night if they can get a flight out. And so some of those kids will be on their way home already on Sunday or Monday. And we bring them back on the 27th. And we'll start practice on the 28th and have a few days of practice to get ready. We've got a high school tournament that people that are listening are close. There's a high school tournament here on the 28th and 29th in our gym, and should be some good competition to see some good local high school kids play. But that will eat up some of our practice time. We'll have to do some manipulating of our schedule to get around that tournament. And then get to the high school. Coach Pope has so graciously allowed us to be able to get in there and practice. And then we have that, two very good teams coming in to play us, Mines and Fort Lewis and Adams. And this is a pretty big weekend for us. We need to have a taste of success. We need to continue to grow as a group. We need to continue to play some good high quality basketball. I told our kids I'm very concerned about our schedule or our record, but I'm more concerned about maximizing our potential. Are we maximizing our potential? And so far, I don't think that we have. When that happens, the wins will take care of themselves. And I have mixed feelings about playing that first weekend at home coming out of the holidays, because there's no students here, and hopefully some of the town people will come out. But we have two very tough opponents coming in with no, the home court advantage will be a third of what it normally is because we don't have the students here. But the positive is we don't have to travel. They don't travel back from Christmas and get in the bus and then travel again, and that sometimes helps us. So I don't like having those home games and forfeiting those home games without students here. But I do like to have them when we don't have to travel. So we're going to continue to improve and get better this week. This week being finals, and hopefully our kids are growing. We had one of the best practices we've had all year last night, and so hopefully that will continue. And we'll go into the weekend with a good upswing. We'll get a win on the road here someplace, and then have an opportunity to take a break from everything and rest our bodies and our minds a little bit.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you this weekend at Regis and Metro on Saturday and Sunday. Both of those games will be broadcast on Double Q Country, of course. And have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, you too, and Merry Christmas to all the listeners out there. Thank you.